Hey there, this is Malorian, and this will be a steamroller me and some friends of mine went to. It's going to be a 50-point steamroller using the Steamroller 2015 rules. So it'll be interesting about how you have to pick your objectives and a little bit different scenarios and stuff like that. And so a group of us from Edmonton here are going to be going down to Calgary and hoping to do pretty well. For myself, I'm really hoping just to place. Of course, it'd always be nice to try and win. I've never won a steamroller before, but if I can just place, that's all I really am aiming at. And worst case scenario, I would like to win more than I lose. All right, so in this first game here, I'll be doing Siege. My two pairings here will be the Siege and Haley2 that you've seen me been playing for a while. I believe the only changes to my list since the last time that we've seen here is I don't think dropping my Stormblades, which I think I already did in the last one, which I added Rupert and Hawk and a Stormcaller. But otherwise, I got my Siege here, and I've been liking him a lot. I'm going to be up against Gorshade 3, which is being run by Jerry, which, if you remember, in the last tournament I went to, it was my Kane 2 versus Scar, and I lost in a very tight game, and he said, man, you got to start playing Siege. And this is important because he's one of the guys in the committee for picking the Team Canada. So he's a guy I want to impress. Now, we're going to see whether I can use Siege properly. My Siege list is going to be a Stormwall, a Squire, Blazers, Rangers, Ayanna and Holt, Ryan Holt, Black 13, and the Gun Mages with UA. He is going to be running Gorshade with a Kraken. Now, I am not used to seeing the Kraken here. With Gorshade, my brother plays all infantry, so a little bit different there. Actually, to be fair, Iokos is running the Kraken. He's just running a little bone chicken. And then there'll be the Soul Hunters. There's going to be a Scarlock. There's going to be the Warwitch Siren, and also the Blackbanes. Now, unfortunately, some of the terrain they put down was not going to be very conducive, so we replaced them with these pieces of paper that just said forest on them. It's better than those trees getting in our way. But anyway, what this really comes down to is I'm going to have to try and shoot down all these ghosts, be very careful with his cav, which is fast and can cause me trouble. He is Derek Wraith as well. And then really try and put some pressure on the Kraken. If I can pop feet and take that thing out, I'll be in a very safe spot. So I get first turn, I want initiative, and I love taking first. So really, I just allocate one to the Stormwall, and everything runs up. On his turn, this is where I remember that, or learn, that the Kraken is AoE 4 rather than AoE 3, and it shoots into my gun mages there, and scatters and whatever, kills Ryan, and how many of those guys? Just one, it looks like. Just one of my gun mages. I thought it was more, but the main thing is that Ryan's dead, which is really bad. So very unfortunate. Sorry, I also have Harlan Versh in here. And it looks like Harlan Versh went down as well. But, yeah, a little bit of extra damage to me right away. And he's staying pretty far back. I'm going to want to shoot down some of those Ghost Raiders best I can. And then start doing some damage to the Kraken. So that's what I do. I go up with Harlan Versh is still around. I'd lost another gun mage. Ran up with the Rangers to kind of mark some things, get some initial damage done. But the main thing is I really did not kill as much of those Blackbane ghosts as I thought. I just kept on failing. So killed a few, but not as much as I'd hoped. Siege puts up a little pit for them, a little foxhole for them to hide in to try and keep them a little bit more alive. I decided to stay back just to be a little bit more safe, which was a little bit silly because Reinhold came up to give me another bullet, and then I decided to hide and not really advance. So that was kind of a little bit of a waste. Otherwise, I'm kind of playing chicken here with his Soul Hunters because he's kind of behind there in the woods. So I'm going to stay back a little bit, knowing that once they come out, I can pop my feet and kill them. So on his turn, his Kraken goes crazy. he has the whatever spell on it. So it charges all the way across down here and not only kills a guy here, but is just right here in my face. Gorshade also runs over to dominate over here on this zone, so he's going to get 2 points. And then otherwise, a shot that's going to come in is going to be killing the Reinholds and also the Squire. So losing those guys this early was really bad. Meanwhile, the ghosts are getting in my face, causing me some issues. The Soul Hunters, of course, just running up and getting in my face as well. But you know what? This isn't really that bad because looking at it, I'm pretty sure I can get the Stormwall into the Kraken. And if I can do that with feet, I've already done some damage to it, remember? So I'm pretty sure it's going to go down. I can kill a lot of the ghosts. And then I can also go and kill the Soul Hunters on the left and start scoring against him. So that's what I do. I had to kind of just move back and away my gun mages so that I could actually make room for the storm wall. So I do that, start some shooting, kills quite a bit of guys, which is pretty nice. One big mistake I made, though, is that, first of all, I harmed his Kraken, which was good. But when I popped my feet and moved kind of back to be a little bit more safe, because I don't have the Squire anymore, I was not within control range of the Kraken, so he did not have that. Now, luckily, the Storm Wall did not fail me. It was actually just barely in for the charge and got in there and killed the Kraken. So that was really big. Meanwhile, on the left, I killed all those Soul Hunters, so they're all gone. I control that zone for one, and we're looking pretty good now. We're looking pretty good. So on his side here, he is going to be raising up, first of all, his little Blackbane Ghost run over, and then he is going to be using his magic to bring up a couple more pop feet to make all these guys stationary. But the biggest thing that went super badly against him is that he also has Orin Midwinter, and so he went for the Electroleap shot, hitting the first guy, then it's going to go down and kill two more gun mages and Iana, but he was just out, like a millimeter out. So I really lucked out here. I mean, sure, they're not going to activate next turn, but at least they're alive. Another thing he did is he ran past here with the Arc Node. I really thought he was going to be going for a spell assassination, but he didn't. He had to take a free strike, but I missed. So that was unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure I can kill the Arc Node now, and getting him off the table will make me very happy. Otherwise, Derek Wraith goes to get inside the zone just to make sure I don't score again, and that's it. So really on this turn, I need the Arc Node to die, I need to kill Derek Wraith, and then just stay the hell away from Gorshade. So that's what I do. I allocate a couple to the storm wall, so he goes and starts to punch the chicken. I only land once and don't take out the arc node, so that was kind of bad. Otherwise, there's not much else I can really do. I missed a shot on his Blackbane guy, but not that big of a deal. Siege comes over and does another foxhole, and I shoot down Derek Wraith. Now, there's going to be another picture here because we actually kind of messed up the defense. I asked his defense, and he gave his defense in the trees, and when I thought it was regular. So when we redid the math, he said, you know what, he's just going to take him off. So I am going to score again. It'll be 2-2 now, but I'm really in a very better spot now, and he's in a very rough spot. So this is just showing it here. We took him off, and you know what? I mean, this is just a really nice thing of him to do because we were really at the end of the whole thing. We'd rolled all the dice, and it wasn't until after that I really just second guessed and questioned, like, really? He's that high defense? He's like, well, yeah, when he's in the trees. It's like, oh no, we've been making him +2 for all these shots, and I had just barely missed a bunch. So it was really nice to say, you know what, let's just take him off because he would have died. So that was really good of him. So otherwise, that's really what it looks like here then. And on his turn, he just tries to get into me and engage. Iokos comes over and leaps over. He has somebody engage Siege. Another ghost charges in and gets into the zone. And he's really just trying to stall now while Gorshade tries to do a little bit more damage. So on my turn, the very biggest thing I have to do is not too much. I have to kill one ghost, which I do with Siege. And then between all the other shooting, I destroy the objective, and I win by scenario. So this was a really big win, a very, very tough opponent for the very first round. So that's never what you want to have. But hey, I pulled it off. And hopefully this kind of shows to him is, hey, if you need me to play Siege for Team Canada, I can do that. So hopefully I can keep it up. So we're on to game 2 now, and it's going to be up against Hexy2. And I decided to drop Siege again because his other list was the Fist. And even though I was pretty sure he'd never drop Fist, even if he does, I figure this is the right drop for it. So this guy's name is Jason. I have the same list I already told you about. And on his side there, he is going to be running a Gladiator, a Sentry. He has the Gators. He also has, man, I forgot all these guys' names. Agonizers, Painmasters, Willbreaker, Adaptus, Marketh. He has those Tormentor on the left. And then these guys here, these advanced guys, I don't really see them much. But, I mean, it's kind of a different scoring list, not one I've really seen before, but I'm pretty sure that my shooting can handle it. The scenario for this one is the 2 flags, the 2 objectives. I didn't really explain the last one, but I should do it here. First one to 5, you get 1 for controlling a flag, 2 for dominating, but they are going to be contested by the far objectives, and you get 1 for destroying the objectives as well. So I win initiative, or actually no, he won initiative, but he picked that side. So I go first, and I just run up like I did last time. On his turn, he really just runs up as well. And so for my part, I just want to start killing this first layer. All these advanced deploy guys, I want to kill them. I want to kill those 2 Gators. And yeah, at that point, he'll still be very far back. So that's what I'm able to do. I'm actually able to kill 3 of the Gators. That's really good. Put up some cover fire after I put those up and shoot 1 with my Maidstorm. And then I get a little bit greedy because he is so far back. I decide, let's shoot that Kreia on the right. And so Siege, who is, back here on the hill, I decide to take a couple of shots. And instead of going to a foxhole, I just boost some extra damage. So I do some pretty good damage to him. And I'm feeling pretty safe. Unfortunately, I didn't realize how his feat works. So really, the Sentry, which is his bonded arc node, runs up, and then he starts arcing spells onto me. And then with his feet, he can pull off the Fury and keep going for that magic assassination. Now, I don't know what the dice is off by hand. I think if he really hits what he's supposed to, he still comes up short. But it didn't really matter because he needed boosted 9s to hit me and missed twice. And so it really just all failed, and now he's in a lot of trouble. So otherwise, he advances and kind of moves off the board a little bit, but really he's sitting there. He's not camping anything. He's done. So I pop feet and I shoot him up. I actually had a couple of things fail. I make things work so I can run a range to him, but I'm just short. I try and get him with Diana, but I'm just short. But luckily, it didn't really matter with the feet. It almost killed him with the first hit, and then 1 more put it down. So feeling kind of lucky here because I kind of made a huge mistake. I mean, I didn't need to shoot that Kreia. It was not a big thing. I should have been farther back. I should have played it safer, but I got cocky, and luckily I didn't pay the price for it. So, game 3, I'm finally going to be going to my Epic Haley list. And that's because I'm up against Sean. So he's one of the guys that came with us. He's a really big Legion player. And normally he does Lilith 2. And I've been having fits with Lilith 2. So I've been dropping, well, before trying to work with Kane. And it wasn't working. So now that's why I just jam him with E. Haley. Now, because of that, and because he's been losing with Epic Lilith, he's going to try out Saren. So this will be a little bit different. So for this scenario here, it'll be first to 5. You get 1 for controlling the zone, 2 for dominating. My Epic Haley list is vast. It is Iris 1, 2 units of press gangers. There's Hawk. I'm running a Lancer and a Squire. There's Gorman, Alexia and Arisen, Forge Guard, Stormcaller, Anastasia, the Nis, and Rupert. On his side, he is going to be running 2 Angelius, 2 Scythian, a Raic, a Harrier, there's the Bellower crew, there's 2 Forsaken, and probably a Shepherd or 2 there as well. And of course, those Forsaken, they're a big deal to me. So I'll really have to make sure they die. And then otherwise, I'm just going to get there and jam, try and figure out whatever zone I can go for and win this one on scenario. So with my +1, I'm able to win and go first. And so really I put tough onto Alexia. And otherwise, I'm just TKing up myself. And I can't remember if it was anything else, but I charge up and I'm just going to get into his face. On his turn, he really surprises me because I thought that he'd go for one zone and then put something in the other at least, but he really shifts to the left zone. He also goes for his Blightbringer, and I make 2 of my toughs. He kills 1, I take a corpse. His Deathstalkers kill a couple of guys, take a couple more corpses, but you can see he's really pushing for the left zone. And I think that's going to make it really easy on me. Now, where he moved up, he doesn't have Shepherds in this list. He has Spellmartyrs. Now, where he put his Forsaken, I can kill the right one with Nis Hunters, but the one in the back that's actually loaded up, that'll be more of an issue. I can shoot it with Iris, but math says it won't die. So what I'm going to actually need to do is clear things out so that through that gap there, I can actually hit him with a time bomb. And the reason there's actually even a gap is that he put the Angeliuses side by side and then realized that I could Gorman 3 beasts if he did another one. So that's why the Scythian is a little bit more apart. So I'm still going to try and blind them, but yeah, it's looking actually pretty good here. So that's what I really do. This is going to be my feat. Iris does her shot, doesn't kill the Forsaken. So I am needing to go in there and basically call down lightning on one of the Deathstalkers, kill it, charge in there with the Pressgangers to kill the other one. Really, I'm just jamming things up on the left side, which was actually a mistake. I charged in there and I got some Weapon Master attacks, but really I should have just been staying back knowing that he couldn't attack me next turn. But anyway, then the Lancer goes up. I arc through the Time Bomb. I pop my feet. I charge over to the right zone. And yeah, shoot down the Forsaken on the right side. Everything else is jamming, moving up. And so I'm not going to dominate because I went first, but he's basically in a lot of trouble. And right here, what I'm trying to show here is, first of all, Gorman, I missed, so it scattered. So I actually just blinded one of the Angeliuses and then also the Raic. But as well, a big problem that he had is he flew up this Harrier and he was going to do the Blightbringer. But the problem was that he couldn't because he was within range of Alexia and at the double cost just did not have enough to do it. So Alexia doing her job. So otherwise, this is all he's able to really do. I passed some key tough tests, and after it all, I mean, he kills some of my Pressgangers, but I'm going to have a lot more I can flood that zone with. I have a lot more Risen I can bring back up, and I'm going to dominate on his turn to get 2 points. So on my turn, I actually make a mistake. Basically, I bring up my Risen. He feated, so I can't really attack him anywhere. So I'm just trying to make sure he can't tramp on the zone. I TK'd around, or back Gorman, and then I TK'd the Angelius backwards, thinking I could aim, shoot it in the back, and hit both Angelius, but I miss, and I'm going to blind just the one again. Otherwise, I throw some stuff into the zone and also try to engage the Angelius and the Harrier. So if it tries to charge across or run across, I'll get a lot of free strikes. The big mistake I made is that when I did all those TKs, I then started going with Gorman, and I didn't move Haley back. So I am going to dominate again, and it's going to be 4-0, but I'm really worried that he's going to find a way to kill Haley. Luckily for me, he decides that's not actually going to work, and he'd rather just go for tie breaks. So he just goes for the left zone and does all he needs to clear it out. He'll dominate for 2, I'll dominate for 2, and I'll win on scenario. So again, it was great to see that the plan went together and I won, but I also made that key mistake at the end, which almost lost it. So uh, it might have been a long shot here to lose because there was so much layers in the way, but still, it's not a mistake I should be making at all. So moving into the fourth game here, there was going to be three undefeated. So one of us got paired down, and it was actually me. And I'm going to be now up against Matt. Now he's going to be doing his Menoth, and looking at his pairing where he had Sevi and Efiora, I decided to go with Siege again. Uh, you know my Siege list, and what his list is going to be is Epic Fiora running Adjudicator, a Reckoner, and a Templar. He's going to be having a couple of vassals, a vassal mechanic, his choir, Iana and Holt. Um, he is also going to be having the zealots with UA and then Epic Iris. Really, what I want to see to do here is this is going to be more of an attrition. Hopefully, I can shoot down his zealots if he makes a mistake and doesn't feat in time. Start taking down his heavies, play it safe, and if he ever makes a mistake with his caster, go for the caster kill. Now, I didn't say the scenario here. The scenario is first to 5, no kill box. You get 1 from the flag if you dominate, 1 for controlling the zone, 2 for dominating, but it's being contested by the objective, and you can destroy the objective for 1 more. Now, I took the first picture after my first round, which is really just running up as always. This is after his first turn, and one of the things that surprised me is a Reckoner took a shot at Siege. Now, he did that by doing an assault, but luckily he was just out. And yeah, nice that I didn't take that early damage. He also has Enliven on the Templar, and he did mini feat with the Zealots, but I think I can jam them up. So looking at this, I think I'm going to feat early because I want that Reckoner dead. I also want to start putting damage on the Templar, and I think they'll put me in a pretty good starting spot. So the plan goes over fairly well. I aim, I do my feat. Well, of course, the Rangers go up and do some plinking damage first. I then pop my feet, I give myself an extra bullet first, of course, put myself in a foxhole. And this whole time, the foxhole with these new 2015 rules, I'm doing it for 1. So a foxhole for 1 focus is amazing. And that's because I take the arcane objective, which makes the upkeeps 1 cheaper. Now, anyway, I'm able to take down the Reckoner and then also get a shot onto the Templar again, just to get some good damage on it. It enlivens up to engage me, but I also kill off a good number of his choir, so it's looking really good. Otherwise, I put some cover fire on the left here, just to really make it tough for him to get out, and Harlan Versh runs up just to engage and trap. So on his turn, this is where the Adjudicator is going to start doing its thing. The Zealots were pretty much trapped, but he did get 1 grenade in there. Failed to kill Harlan Versh, which was pretty lucky for me. Kills off half the Rangers. Lights tons of crap on fire there. That's really bad. But I didn't really lose that much. But the Templar did get into my storm wall and did almost all of one side. So luckily, he's not following that up with the Adjudicator. So on my turn, my plan is to kill off more of his support staff, kill this Templar, and then hopefully shoot down a lot of the Zealots and just work on that attrition. So that's what I do. I allocate 3, beat up and destroy the Templar. Of course, I'm just putting pods in the way to try and stop him. Shooting, I was able to kill off the last of the choir, so the choir is all gone. Was not able to kill that vassal, though, so that sucks. Otherwise, Harlan Versh is able to kill a guy. Then I just fail over and over and over again with all my gun mages, so that kind of sucked. And then I even shoot my own Harlan Versh with the Maid Storm, which kills me and kills only 1 of his guys. So really not getting the dice I needed. Got a little bit of what I needed. I mean, I did kill some of his support staff, but I really need to do more to those Zealots. So on my turn, I'm going to pay the price for that. I'm going to lose some Blazers. I'm going to lose all the rest of the Rangers. He's going to come up and kill off Ryan and more of the gun mages. So really hurting there. By the way, one of the things he's doing with Adjudicator as well is when he's not, well, basically what he does is he shoots at Siege, boosts and hopes to get 15, scatters, and then he's just lighting stuff on fire. Now, I should say I'm getting really lucky on fire where I'm having to go out all the time. So that's going really well. So for this turn, I'm now starting to work on that Adjudicator. I've been doing it for a while, but I just keep on shooting it and shooting and picking away. And so I need to now deal with a lot of these zealots and with those blazers, hopefully getting around and killing this other stuff like Iana. So I do okay. I'm doing more damage to the Adjudicator. I destroyed the Vassal Mechanic, so that's going to be really good. Again, didn't quite kill as many Zealots as I had hoped. And I also forgot to activate my Blazers. So that was a little bit stupid, but it's still slowly going my way. So on his turn, he comes back. I'm going to be losing more of my gun mages. So really now, I just have the one gun mage, the UA, and then the two members left of the 13th. So really getting down to it. He kills my two blazers, which is probably what they deserve for not activating. And again, he's just trying to go for siege and trying to get that win. So he did get me on fire. The fire does not go out, but he did no damage. So that was really lucky. And now I'm starting to look at scenarios. So now that he only has the one zealot, I move over. Well, after I was done shooting, he had only one zealot. I move over to the corner of the zone so I can run over and get to the other flag. The original plan was to shoot the objective and destroy the objective so that I already be at 3 here, and then I need to run over and start pushing the scenario hard. But I kind of go off that and just continue to shoot that Adjudicator, which is probably not a bad idea, but then kind of wasteful that I did 6 damage to the objective. So on his turn, he sees that play and he's starting to shift over. So his Adjudicator comes over, Fiora runs over, Epic Iris runs into that cover from the wreck marker. Iana and Holt come up in stealth. And you know what? This is not so bad because he basically did not very much at all to me. So what I'm going to do is shoot one of my own pods and then kill Epic Iris. And that's going to be great to have her off the table. So that's what I do. Siege really retreats. I shoot down a pod Iris, so she's off the table. And then again, everything just shooting into the Adjudicators. Bam, bam, bam. And the slow grind continues. So on his turn, he's more just still going to the left side, trying to hit me. Not getting it. You know, it's so hard to deal with siege in a foxhole. Otherwise, he did harm me this time, so he did get a little bit more damage onto the storm wall, but now it's on the left side, so he's not taking out any systems. And I noticed when he was shooting at me that he already has one side down, so I'm going to try and finish this guy off. So that's what I kind of do, but it's still not working. I didn't take out the Adjudicator yet. I did kind of throw a guy in the way. I had to go and shoot down a pod. Iana was killed, and still just grinding. So on his turn, he's really moving towards that flag. Kills off one of the members of the 13th. The other one fails the command test. His Holt had failed the command test as well. Fiora is now in the middle of the trees. And now that he's getting so close to that flag, I know I have to commit and get him dead. So that's what I do. The storm wall comes over and I'm able to destroy the Adjudicator, which is massive. I am also able to shoot and kill Holt. And then with Siege, I go up into the zone. I shoot and destroy the objective. So now it's going to be 3 points to 0. And with Fiora way back there, I figure I got this. However, I apparently don't play her enough because she just fire steps out of the forest and then was just close enough to get to me. So if I was just a little bit farther back, which I could have easily done, I would have been fine. But now he's a charge on me, does his feat, which really just puts me on fire again. And yeah, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Except his dice don't really go his way, and I'm left on 3. Now, that doesn't mean I'm out of the woods yet because I'm still on fire. So at the end of his turn, he also puts the mechanic into, or sorry, the vassal into the zone so that I don't just win. And we're going to see if that fire goes out. And it doesn't. Well, of course it doesn't because I'm within range of her now. But when we roll the dice, all he needs is an 8 and I'd be dead. He does not get the 8. The storm wall kills the vassal. I dominate and take the win. So, oh man, that was a close game. Basically, that went 9 rounds. For those who weren't counting, that was 9 rounds of War Machine. Just a slow, slow grind. And it's games like this where I think I agree with people that I need to at least drop my max blazers to a min blazers to add junior and also a tinker. But we'll see. I'll deal with that later. But wow, uh, what this came to down now is that there was 2 of us that was undefeated, and so it's all going to come down to strength of schedule. And so really, it actually was my brother fighting the Legion player that I fought. And really, if the Legion guy won, I would win. And if my brother won, then the other guy would win. And luckily, Sean won with his Legion. And so I took first place. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have any trophies, but they did have beer. Actually, they only gave 1 case to us. They gave another one to somebody else, but they gave it to us too. And yeah, I am really, really happy. I mean, what else can I say? I really just hope to place to be like 3rd or 2nd. After knowing I was being paired with Jerry first game, I thought, well, that's it, it's over. But everything just kept on working out. Now, I did make a lot of mistakes, sloppy moves that almost got me killed. So I definitely have to work on that, not to be so cocky. But yes, Siege, he's an awesome, awesome caster. So there you go. Thanks for watching. If there's any changes to my lists, please say so. I love suggestions. If there's any things you would have done differently in the games, let me know that too. And otherwise, just thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.